Have you ever shared a bite of your dinner with your dog, thinking it's a moment of love? I need you to stop for a second, because that tiny bite, that innocent act of love, might be the one thing slowly killing them. And the cruel part, you'll never see it coming, not until it's too late. I'm not talking about chocolate or grapes. Everyone knows those. I'm talking about foods sitting right now in your kitchen. Foods you've probably shared 100 times, the ones that make their tail wag but make their organs fail. Today, I'll show you 16 everyday foods that could turn a loving owner's gesture into tragedy. But before we start, think of this. What if the treat your dog loves most is silently poisoning them? Let's start with the first one. It looks harmless, but it's a sweet assassin. Imagine you're at the kitchen counter spreading peanut butter on a slice of bread. Your dog sits patiently beside you, tail-wagging eyes full of trust. You smile, scoop a little with your finger, and offer it as a treat. It feels like love, doesn't it? But what if that simple moment, the one that makes you feel closest to your dog, is quietly putting them in danger? Some brands of peanut butter hide a sweet ingredient called xylitol. It sounds harmless, even healthy. You'll find it in sugar-free gums, candies, even toothpaste. But for dogs, xylitol isn't sweet. It's poison. Just a few licks can cause their blood sugar to crash within minutes. One moment they're wagging their tail, the next. They're trembling, seizing their heart, struggling to keep pace. You rush to the vet, praying it's not too late. Can you see how cruel that irony is? A human healthy choice turned into a dog's worst nightmare. The sad truth is most pet parents never check the label. They trust the word natural. But nature doesn't forgive ignorance. If you've ever rewarded your dog with a lick of peanut butter, you're not a bad owner. You're a loving one who just didn't know. Now you do, and knowing is how you protect them. So what can you do instead? Try unsweetened pumpkin or a spoon of plain coconut yogurt. They'll love it just the same, and you'll love the peace of mind that comes with it. Because love isn't in the treat, it's in the choice. And speaking of choices, there's another food most people believe is fine, until it breaks the dog's heart from the inside. 2. Why even a tiny piece of bacon could break your dog's heart. You know that sound, the gentle crackle of bacon on a Sunday morning. The smell fills the kitchen, and before you even turn around, your dog is there, eyes-wide tail swaying like a metronome of hope. Maybe you've torn off a tiny piece before thinking, what harm could it do? After all, it's just bacon. But here's the hard truth to a dog's heart. That tiny piece is a thunderstorm waiting to strike. Bacon and other processed meats, ham, sausage, deli slices carry more than flavor. They carry salt, preservatives, and nitrates, the kind that seep into a dog's bloodstream like silent saboteurs. You might not see it now, but inside their organs are working overtime, drowning in sodium inflamed by chemicals meant for human taste, not canine life. Pancreatitis, kidney failure, heart strain. It doesn't happen overnight. It builds like a slow poison wrapped in the scent of comfort food. And yet, the saddest part, they trust you completely. They believe that every bite from your hand is love. But love, when uninformed, can wound deeper than neglect. Imagine their small heart pounding faster, their body begging for water, their cells silently crying, "I can't keep up." Still think that sliver of bacon is harmless. Try boiled skinless chicken or a cube of unsalted turkey. Watch them wag their tail just as joyfully, except this time It's not betrayal, disguised as affection. Because sometimes real love doesn't taste delicious. It tastes safe. Now, if meat can do that, what about something even simpler? Something we humans eat when we're too tired to cook, like instant noodles. The danger in that bowl might surprise you. 3. Instant noodles. The quick meal that slowly destroys dogs. Picture this: it's late. The fridge is empty, and you just want something quick. You boil a pack of instant noodles, maybe mix in a bit of rice, and your dog stares up at you, hopeful as always. You think just a few bites to fill their belly, it can't hurt, right? But what if that little act of kindness is quietly setting off a chain reaction inside their body? Instant noodles are like a mirage in the desert, warm, comforting, and completely empty. They offer no real nutrition, only salt, oil, and chemicals that confuse your dog's system into thinking it's being fed when it's actually being drained. Every spoonful brings a storm of MSG, onion, and garlic powder, and preservatives, all of which the canine liver struggles to process. Imagine a tiny organ fighting against a wave meant for a human-sized body. The sodium alone can make a dog's blood pressure surge the way a balloon stretches just before it bursts. It doesn't happen at once, it creeps up meal after meal, until one day your little treat becomes the reason their kidneys give up. And here's the part no one talks about. Dogs trust our instincts more than their own hunger. When you feed them, you're not just filling their stomach, you're teaching their body what love tastes like. So what kind of love do you want them to remember? Try giving them boiled brown rice mixed with steamed carrots or pumpkin. Watch how they eat calm and safe, not desperate. Because the truth is, love shouldn't come from a foil packet. And if noodles can deceive, wait till you hear about a food that wears a halo of health yogurt. 4. The yogurt trap. When healthy turns harmful. You've seen the commercials, creamy swirls of yogurt, promising gut health, happiness, and glowing skin. So when you scoop a spoonful of that strawberry yogurt for your dog, you feel proud. You're giving them something healthy, right? But here's the twist. That little cup of goodness can turn into a storm inside your dog's stomach. What feels like wellness to you can feel like poison to them. Most store-bought yogurts are packed with refined sugar, artificial flavoring, and even xylitol, the same sweet assassin hiding in peanut butter. Each lick floods their body with chemicals it was never meant to handle. Their pancreas panics, their blood sugar crashes, and their stomach churns as if it's been betrayed. And even if the yogurt has no sweeteners, the lactose alone is a silent enemy. Did you know that most adult dogs lose the enzyme needed to digest milk? That's why a harmless treat often ends with bloating gas or a night of quiet suffering while you wonder why they seem uncomfortable. But here's the real heartbreak. They'll still look at you with gratitude. They won't cry. They won't blame you. They'll lick their lips and wait for more trusting that love can't possibly hurt. That's what makes this so painful. They believe in you, even when their body doesn't. If you want to help their gut, try plain Greek yogurt or lactose-free varieties. Better yet, a spoon of pumpkin puree gives the same probiotic power without the pain. Because true care isn't about what looks healthy, it's about what keeps them whole. And if yogurt, the symbol of health, can harm them, imagine what a handful of nuts could do, crunchy, salty, and far more dangerous than they seem. 5. Nuts that kill. The snack that sends dogs to the ER. It starts innocently, a lazy afternoon. You're snacking on a handful of mixed nuts, a few cashews, some almonds, maybe a few macadamias. Your dog watches every move, eyes following the slow rise of your hand. You smile, flick one toward them, crunch. Gone. You think, what harm could one nut do? But inside that tiny bite hides a toxin, quiet and cruel, that can turn your dog's joy into agony before the day ends. Nuts are dense with fat, the kind that overwhelms a dog's liver like an overloaded engine gasping for air. And macadamia nuts, they're worse. A natural toxin runs through them, one science still struggles to explain. Just 6 nuts can cause trembling weakness, vomiting, even paralysis within hours. Picture your dog's legs shaking uncontrollably, their body refusing to obey their eyes, searching yours for help they can't ask for. It's not drama, it's biochemistry. Even the safer nuts, like almonds or cashews, bring their own dangers. Salt oil seasoning, each one digs deeper, raising blood pressure, straining kidneys, building toward pancreatitis, that fiery pain no creature should endure. And here's the hardest truth: dogs don't understand moderation. To them, every treat from your hand is sacred. Every crunch means, I love you. How do you explain that love sometimes needs to say no? If you want that same joy, the sound of a happy crunch without the risk, try chilled carrot sticks or crisp cucumber slices. They'll chew with the same excitement, but this time you'll know their body is safe. Because real love doesn't always come wrapped in flavor, sometimes it's in restraint. And if a handful of nuts can shake their body like that, imagine what lies inside a tin can, the kind labeled healthy fish. 6. Canned fish, a toxic surprise in every bite. You open a can of tuna, and the scent drifts through the kitchen like a wave from the sea. Your dog perks up instantly, nose twitching, tail wagging, that silent question glowing in their eyes. Is that for me? And maybe you think it's fine. After all, fish is healthy, right? But here's where the sea turns dark. Inside that innocent tin danger swims quietly, invisible, waiting. Canned fish, especially tuna, hides heavy metals like mercury, a slow, creeping toxin that attacks the nervous system one meal at a time. To us, it's a trace. To a 20-pound dog, it's a storm. Each bite adds another drop to the ocean inside their body, until one day their energy fades, their coordination falters, and you can't figure out why. Mercury doesn't announce itself. It whispers in tremors, in weakness, in confusion. And it's not just the fish. The oil, the salt, the preservatives, they turn your dog's liver into a battlefield. The organ that once filtered love and life now fights to survive every spoonful. You might think you're giving protein, but you're serving fatigue dressed as flavor. Picture their tiny heart working overtime, trying to clear the poison you never meant to give. That's not neglect. That's heartbreak born from good intentions. Want to share fish safely. Steam a bit of salmon or sardine plain, no salt, no oil. Watch the joy without the risk. Because love shouldn't come from a factory sealed, it should come from care that asks what happens after this bite. And if the ocean can hide poison behind its shimmer, what do you think hides beneath something even more familiar? A golden, crispy piece of chicken. 7. The hidden danger in roasted chicken skin. You bring home a warm rotisserie chicken. The smell fills the house, buttery, savory, irresistible. Your dog circles your legs like a silent prayer, waiting for a scrap to fall. You smile, peel off a piece of that golden skin, and hand it over. It's just a tiny bite glistening with flavor, soft with fat. Their eyes light up. But somewhere inside that moment of tenderness, something dark begins, a danger so ordinary most owners never see it coming. That crispy skin, the one that crunches so perfectly for you, is soaked in salt fat and seasoning a cocktail of garlic onion and oils that turn toxic once they touch a dog's body. To us, it's comfort food. To them, it's a test their organs can't pass. The fat clogs their pancreas like wet cement poured into a drain. The salt pulls water from their blood until their heart races to keep up. And the seasonings, they break down red blood cells, slowly robbing their body of oxygen, breath by breath. You might think, but it's homemade, not fast food. Yet the truth doesn't care how it smells. Every crisp, oily layer hides inflammation, waiting for the next bite to make it worse. They don't show the pain right away. Dogs are quiet warriors. They endure. They trust. And that's what makes it so tragic. Their silence is mistaken for happiness. If you want them to taste chicken, give it plain boiled skinless. Let love be clean, not coated in flavor. Because every golden crust carries a shadow. And if roasted meat can disguise poison under its shine, imagine what happens with something as simple as milk, the childhood comfort we all thought was safe. 8. Why dairy could be the real reason behind your dog's allergies. Think of it, a warm morning, sunlight spilling through the window, you pour a bit of milk into your coffee. Your dog watches curious tail wagging, and you think, why not share a little A-splash in their bowl? A bite of cheese after dinner, maybe a lick of ice cream on a hot day. It feels like a treat made of love. But love isn't always sweet. Sometimes it curdles. Here's what most owners never realize. Once a puppy grows up, its body quietly changes. The enzyme that helps digest lactose fades away. So when your dog enjoys that piece of cheese or that spoon of ice cream, their stomach doesn't celebrate it, revolts. Gas builds. The intestines twist in confusion. Hours later they lie there, belly tight, licking their paws, ears, red eyes watering. You think it's a sensitive stomach or a passing itch, but what if it's the milk? For many dogs, dairy isn't a treat. It's a trigger. It stirs up allergies that look like skin problems or anxiety. They scratch. They chew their feet. They wake at night, restless, their body whispering something's wrong. And all the while, they trust you. They believe that every bite from your hand is a promise of care. That's what makes this so painful. You're trying to comfort them, but the comfort itself is what hurts. If you want to share that creamy joy, reach for unsweetened coconut yogurt or a frozen banana slice instead. It's gentle, safe, and still delicious. Watch how their body responds. Light, calm, thankful. Because love isn't about giving what you enjoy. It's about giving what helps them stay. And if milk, the symbol of innocence, can cause such quiet suffering, what happens when we move to something even more common, something that starts every morning in most homes, bread? The food that smells like warmth, but hides a danger that rises in silence. 9. Bread and bloat, the silent killer in every breakfast. Bite morning, light the smell of toast, a simple slice of comfort that feels like home. You tear off a tiny piece, soft and warm, and offer it to your dog under the table. Their tail thumps, eyes wide, mouth open in gratitude. It's a small thing, harmless, right? But what if that gentle act, repeated again and again, is slowly teaching their body to turn against itself? What if the food that feeds your nostalgia is quietly stealing your dog's breath? Bread, especially the kind we eat daily, is built on yeast-refined flour and sugar ingredients designed for human bodies, not canine ones. When a dog eats bread, that yeast doesn't just stop working, It keeps fermenting inside their stomach, creating gas-swelling pressure. Their belly rises, tightens until they can barely move or breathe, a condition vets call bloat. It's one of the most painful and deadly emergencies a dog can face. It can twist the stomach, cut off blood flow, and if not treated in time, end a life in hours. But the danger doesn't always explode suddenly. Sometimes it's quiet, slow wait, gain sluggishness, panting confusion. Each crumb builds another layer of imbalance, another puff of air waiting to expand. And you won't know until the day they stop wagging and simply stare, pleading for help without words. What's tragic is how ordinary it looks. Bread feels safe, familiar. It's what we share with everyone we love. Family, children, dogs. But love without awareness can harm. So next time you see that hopeful gaze at breakfast, offer a crisp carrot slice or a cool cucumber piece instead. Still crunchy, still shared. But this time, it's love that protects, not love that risks. Because if something as pure as bread can hide such betrayal, imagine what happens when sweetness itself becomes the villain not from the oven, but from the fruit bowl. Grapes and raisins, tiny, innocent, deadly. 10. Grapes and raisins, tiny fruits, deadly consequences. They look so harmless, don't they? Small, sweet, bursting with life. You pop a grape into your mouth, and your dog tilts their head eyes, sparkling with curiosity. You think just one won't hurt. It rolls across the floor, they chase it, tail wagging, joy in motion. But that tiny fruit, that innocent little moment, can be the beginning of a nightmare you never saw coming. For reasons scientists still struggle to fully explain, grapes and raisins can destroy a dog's kidneys. Not weaken, not strain, destroy. One grape can trigger vomiting. A handful can cause acute kidney failure within hours. Their body floods with toxins their kidneys can't filter. The first signs seem minor tiredness, loss of appetite, a little nausea. You might think it's something they ate outside, but inside the damage spreads like fire through dry leaves. Once it starts, it's almost impossible to stop. And here's the cruel twist: not every dog reacts the same. One might eat 10 grapes and be fine, another might eat 2 and never recover. It's a game of biological Russian roulette, and the stakes are a heartbeat. That's why vets beg owners don't gamble with this one. Because when symptoms finally show, the window for saving them is already closing. What makes this tragedy even deeper is that grapes feel like love. They're natural, sweet, shared by hand. You think you're offering something pure, but purity isn't the same as safety. So if you want to share a fruit, reach for blueberries or strawberries instead, bright, juicy, filled with antioxidants, not danger. Watch how they eat it carefree, trusting alive. And if something as small as a grape can destroy from within, what about the things we can't see? The invisible toxins hiding in flavor, in sauces, in everyday meals. Garlic and onion, kitchen staples for us, but silent killers for them. 11. The onion and garlic mistake that destroys red blood cells. Picture this: it's dinner time. The kitchen glowing, the smell of sizzling garlic and onions wrapping around you like a memory of home. Your dog sits nearby, patient, loyal, watching you stir the pan, waiting for their share of whatever love you're cooking. You smile. You drop a small piece of meat coated in sauce, a little treat, nothing more. But in that golden drop of flavor, something deadly is hiding. Garlic and onions, no matter how they're cooked, raw, fried, powdered, or baked, contain compounds called thiosulfates. They sound harmless, scientific, forgettable. But inside a dog's bloodstream, They're wolves in disguise. They attack the red blood cells, tearing down the very cells that carry oxygen. It doesn't happen instantly. It's a slow betrayal. Their gums fade from pink to pale. Their breath shortens. They grow weak, dizzy, tired after short walks. You think it's just old age, but really, it's their body quietly suffocating one cell at a time. And here's what makes it worse. Dogs love the smell of garlic and onions because they smell like you. Like the meals you share, the warmth of family, the bond of belonging. They trust the aroma, not knowing it's laced with poison. Every bite is a love letter, written in invisible ink, and the ending isn't happy. If you want to cook for them, keep it simple. Boiled meats, plain rice, steamed vegetables. Flavor it not with garlic, but with safety. They don't need spice to feel loved. They need you to choose wisely. Because true care isn't in the seasoning, it's in the sacrifice. And if what we cook at home can turn deadly without us realizing, imagine what happens with something we don't cook at all. A single piece of gum, sugar-free, lying unnoticed on the floor. Sometimes death doesn't come from food on a plate. It comes from a sweet scent in your pocket. 12. Sugar-free gum. The tiny treat that can stop a heart. It's the sound you barely notice a wrapper crinkling in your pocket, a stick of gum half forgotten at the bottom of your purse. You drop your keys, the gum slips out, and before you can even turn around, your dog has found it. A sniff, a chew, a swallow. You laugh for a second until you remember that word you once read on the label Xylitol. Suddenly, the room feels smaller, the air heavier. Because that single piece, that innocent chew, meant to freshen human breath, can stop a dog's heart in under an hour. Xylitol is sweetness with a cruel secret. For humans, it's harmless. For dogs, it's a trap disguised as candy. The moment it touches their tongue, their pancreas goes into overdrive, flooding their body with insulin. Blood sugar plummets like a light switch flicked off. They stumble, their eyes glaze, their legs twitch as their brain fights for oxygen. Within minutes, seizures can begin. Within half an hour, coma. Within a few hours, silence. And here's the heartbreak. It often happens when you're not even home. A bag left on the counter, a jacket pocket within reach. Love doesn't always die from neglect. Sometimes it dies from convenience. You never meant harm, you were just living, just chewing gum, just forgetting. If you think your dog's eaten gum, don't wait. Call your vet. Drive. Every minute is a thread between life and loss. And afterward, change the habit. Seal your gum. Keep your bags out of reach. Check your pockets like you're checking your love. Because real care isn't about grand gestures. It's about the quiet moments when no one's watching. And if something as tiny as a stick of gum can pull life from your dog so fast, imagine what else hides in your kitchen buried under the mask of natural. Potatoes, the everyday vegetable, may hold one final secret, one last twist in this story of trust, love, and danger. If you've made it this far, it means one thing: you love your dog deeply. Maybe you even feel a little guilty now, remembering the scraps you've shared, the tiny mistakes made out of love. But let me tell you, this guilt is just love that's waking up. And today, you've already done something beautiful you've chosen to see. Dogs can't read ingredient labels. They can't say, "This hurts me." They look up at you with those eyes that hold the same question every day. Can I trust you? And every meal, every choice is how you answer. It's not about perfection. It's about awareness. Because real love isn't feeding them what makes them wag. It's feeding them what keeps them here by your side, tail thumping, heart steady, eyes bright. Think of every bark, every paw on your lap, every quiet sigh when they fall asleep near your feet. Those are moments borrowed from the care you give. You hold their world, their safety, their joy in your hands. So if this video opened your eyes, stay. Subscribe. Because each week, I'll help you understand your dog a little better, not through fear, but through knowledge, compassion, and truth. Share this video with someone who loves their dog the way you do. Because sometimes one small action can save a heartbeat you never meant to lose. Your dog doesn't need more treats. They need you informed, gentle, and awake. And together, we'll make sure no act of love ever becomes a hidden act of harm.